In 2019, at the height of NATO's attention, and during Donald Trump's first term, Turkey made one of the worst decisions the country could have made. It completed the purchase of the S-400 air defense system manufactured by Russia. Washington had repeatedly warned Ankara that the acquisition posed a direct risk to the most advanced and stealthy American technology. The most technologically advanced F-35 Lightning II fighter jets, amid growing sales and ongoing upgrades. That's because the S-400's radars had, until then, the ability to detect and track low observable aircraft. If they operated close to the F-35, they could record the fighter's radar, thermal, and electromagnetic signatures, allowing Russia to analyze and eventually develop countermeasures against one of the United States' greatest operational advantages. Years later, it became known that Russian radars are ineffective against American systems, being destroyed in Iran. The American response was firm. In 2020, Trump ordered direct sanctions applied based on the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. This meant one thing: Turkey was removed from the international F-35 program. Turkish companies that produced hundreds of components for the jet lost contracts. 6 aircraft already manufactured for the Turkish Air Force remained in the United States and were never delivered. Turkey had paid approximately $1.4 billion and planned to acquire up to 100 discs. The cut was abrupt and costly. 6 years later, the situation changed. Donald Trump returned to the presidency with a close and public relationship with Erdogan. And during his first visit to Turkey as president in 11 years last Wednesday for the NATO summit, he stated that his Secretary of State and his Secretary of the Treasury were working to lift the 2020 sanctions. In his words, the F-35 is by far the best aircraft, and the sale of the fighter jet to Turkey would be something that the United States would certainly consider. Erdogan, in turn, recalled that in previous conversations, the Americans had promised 5 jets and expressed confidence that Trump keeps his commitments. The removal of the sanctions faces obstacles, clear legal and political obstacles. American legislation still prohibits the transfer of F-35 aircraft as long as Turkey keeps the S-400 system on its territory. A technical solution under discussion involves transferring the Russian system to a third country, but no agreement has been reached, and Russia would have to agree to the change of end user. Meanwhile, the U.S. Congress remains firmly opposed. A bipartisan letter. The letter, signed by representatives from both parties, expressed deep concern about any sale, citing Turkey's relations with Iran and its rhetoric regarding Israel. If you want access to more in-depth analysis and exclusive content that isn't released to the public on this channel, become an exclusive member for just 7 Rs and 90 or 7 Rs and 99 centavos per month. The F-35 Lightning II is a 5th-generation platform designed to operate in contested environments. Its stealth drastically reduces the likelihood of detection by enemy radars. Integrated systems and sensors, such as the AESA radar and the distributed aperture system, provide the pilot with a 360-degree real-time view of the battlefield. Data fusion allows the aircraft to share information with other aircraft and ground units, multiplying the effectiveness of the entire force. In the Middle East, the Israeli variant F-35, the IADIR, has already demonstrated these capabilities in real missions, contributing to air superiority in operations against advanced defenses. In Eastern Europe, NATO countries deployed the F-35 to monitor and respond to Russian aerial threats, especially in air policing missions. On the eastern flank, in high-intensity conflict scenarios, where Russian area denial systems pose a high risk to fourth-generation fighters. Turkey occupies a strategic position on NATO's southeastern flank. It has the second-largest armed force in the alliance, proven experience in air and drone operations, and important bases like in Incirlik. The arrival of the F-35 would significantly enhance its surveillance, precision strike, and integration capabilities with allied forces. At the same time, it would raise the level of its regional operations in an area marked by persistent tensions. Israel is closely monitoring the development. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu publicly stated that the sale of fighter jets to Turkey would upset the balance of power in the Middle East. Israel operates about 40 F-35s in its own version, the Adir, with total orders of up to 65 units, and it considers this fleet essential to maintain its qualitative military edge. Netanyahu argued that Turkey is not a friend of the United States, and that delivering fifth-generation aircraft to Ankara would introduce new risks of regional aggression. Erdogan and high-ranking Turkish officials have already expressed critical rhetoric towards Israel. In addition, Ankara maintains relations with groups considered terrorist organizations by both the United States and Israel. Defense analysts point out concrete concerns. A Turkish F-35 could operate in scenarios that put pressure on American partners, such as Greece and Cyprus, or alter power calculations in direct confrontations with Israel. The rivalry between the two countries is not recent. It involves historical disputes, differences in vision about the future of the region, and recent episodes of diplomatic tension. The possibility of two air forces with fighters of equivalent generation operating in the same neighborhood increases the complexity of any future crisis. On the American side, Trump emphasizes Turkey's loyalty within NATO and the importance of keeping Ankara aligned with the West. He described the bilateral relationship as better than ever. Become a member to get access to the full video. Become an exclusive member here on the channel for just $7.99 per month. Just click here on the Become a Member button. Now I want to know your opinion. How do you assess the risks and opportunities of this possible transfer of F-35s to Turkey? Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos.